Hi everybody, we're going to do a quick tutorial on our chocolate cake mix. Obviously you're going to need to have one of our chocolate cake mixes. We're going to walk you through real quick what you need. So as far as ingredients, what you're going to need, you're going to need 3/4 cup shortening. I use palm shortening, so that's what I recommend. If you want to use something else, you can, but I think that gives the best flavor. 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and you can do either 1.5 cups of hot water, or what I like to do is I do 3/4 cup of weak coffee and 3/4 cup water. I love doing the coffee. It adds a little bit of richness to it. It's diluted, so you don't want strong coffee. You want kind of really weak coffee. But if you're not a coffee fan, then you can just skip that and just use water. So let's get started. The first thing that I recommend is with your shortening is you're going to want to soften it up a little bit. So especially in the winter months, soften it up, warm it up a little bit. That way you don't have any problems with chunks of shortening in your cake mix. Just makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to do that real quick. So only do that about 30 seconds. It doesn't take very long. Gonna scrape down the sides. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the eggs in. Okay, we've got 3 eggs, got 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then you're going to mix that and try to incorporate that as well as you can. It's not going to be completely incorporated because you've got shortening and then you've got other liquid in there, but you want to do the best you can. So we're going to do that for a short period of time. You want to make sure you follow the directions on how we put the ingredients in. It really does make a big difference. If you just dump everything in, it will not get incorporated properly and you will not have the right consistency and you'll not be happy with the outcome of your cupcakes or cakes. Okay, a few more seconds here. Okay, now we are going to add in chocolate cake mix. I'm just going to dump the whole thing in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly incorporate in and add in our coffee and our water. Okay. So again, on slow, or you end up with a bunch of mix all over you, which I have done multiple times. So I've got my 3/4 cups of diluted coffee. So I'm just going to slowly incorporate this in. And then I got the water. And then once you kind of get all the liquid incorporated in, we'll scrape it down, and then we're going to beat this on high, probably for about 2 minutes. You just want to make sure everything is really incorporated so you get the best result. Gluten-free is especially important to make sure you get everything really incorporated really well. Okay. I'm going to scrape that down. And that timer is actually some muffins that I made in the previous video that I just did. So we are going to do that. It's always a good idea after you've been beating it for a little bit, mixing it up there for a couple minutes. Just make sure you got the bottom scraped up so you got all the shortening incorporated, all the dry mix. Smells good. Love that smell of coffee and that chocolate. Okay. It's nice and smooth. We don't have any shortening chunks in here. So we're going to scoop it out. So this mix will make about 24, maybe 30 cupcakes, regular size cupcakes. It'll make 2 8-inch round cakes as well as 1 9x13. Okay? So we're just going to got a pre-lined cupcake pan. And what I use to scoop my cupcakes out, and it just helps also with making sure that you've got the right amount in the pans for the cook time that's allotted. So for the cupcakes, it's going to take anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. Start with 15 minutes, it really depends on your oven. Get your toothpick out. Check it. Same with the cakes. They give you kind of a starting point, but you're just going to have to gauge it with your own oven. So I use I think it's like 1.5 inch or 2 inch cookie scoop. I think it's 1.5 inch cookie scoop, and that is like the perfect fill amount. Okay, for your chocolate cupcakes, so they come out perfect. Okay, so we're just going to scoop these. You're going to want to have already created your oven at 350. Okay. One thing I do sometimes with the batter, because especially if you're not doing it for a party or you don't have different things, you can scoop all of them, bake them, and then you can freeze them, and then they freeze awesome. Pull them out, and then you can frost them when you're ready to serve them, especially if you just want a little treat, or the kids just want to treat every once in a while. You can do that. Or if you're going to use it over the next couple of weeks, you can put the leftover batter that you're not going to use in a Ziploc bag. Keep it in the fridge. I would only do it for like up to 2 weeks, but then you could just scoop out of the bag. So if you wanted a fresh cupcake or a couple of fresh cupcakes or smaller quantities, you can pull it out of the fridge and scoop it, and it works great. All right, so we're going to put this in the oven, 350 for about 15 minutes, and we'll check them. You also want to make sure that when you pull the cupcakes out, put them on a wire rack and let them cool before you frost them, because it'll just melt the frosting on them. So I already have cupcakes that are already done here. I previously made some frosting out of our frosting mix. What I do, and completely up to you, but an easy way, because I always like, my cupcakes a little, look a little fancy. You can go to a Michael's, or you can go to Hobby Lobby, anywhere who sells, or Joann's, who sells decorating stuff, and just buy a tip. The tips are like about $2. Okay, you get a really fancy tip that you want, and then the disposable bags are very inexpensive, and it's just a great way. It's an easy way to frost. So actually, my favorite way to have a chocolate cupcake is with vanilla frosting, and my favorite way to have a vanilla cupcake with chocolate frosting. So there you have it. I hope that really helps kind of get you guys started. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.